Naruto and Sasuke are very different from each other. While still being similar, they are polar opposites, like yin and yang, day and night, sun and moon. Wait a minute. Just as in all times past, Naruto as the Asura reincarnate possesses no dojutsu. Asura has never once possessed any sort of dojutsu and was always criticized for being useless, but he overcame that with the power of his friends. Indra, on the other hand, was always gifted with everything he did and possessed the same eyes as his father. The eyes that granted him incredible strength at a cost Indra was willing to pay. I've always preferred Naruto over Sasuke in all points in time, despite the fact that I like the Sharingan best. The one time I thought Naruto's eyes had possibly become even cooler than Sasuke's was when he got Sage Mode, and once again, 6 Paths Sage Mode. While I loved Sasuke's Rinnegan, I always thought it was strange that he only awakened one, had tomoe in them, which was uncommon, and couldn't turn it off. I mean, apparently he could in the last movie, but after that he never turns it off, and he just has to cover it with his hair until Momoshiki decided to roughhouse. It's all fun and games until someone loses a gon. Still, I wonder how Sasuke's life would have turned out if, like Naruto, he had no dojutsu and instead had a tailed beast. I mean, there are 8 to choose from, 9 if we count the half of Kurama that Minato has, and 10 if we count non-canon stuff such as the Zero Tails. Obvious naming fallacy, it has a tail and it also isn't one of the original tailed beasts. So for now, let's take away Sasuke's ability to see things really good and instead give him one of the world's most dangerous pets.
Welcome to the Amagi! Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Also, we just released some brand new merch. If you'd like to show your support for the channel even further while at the same time repping stylish clothing, be sure to check that out as well. The store is linked below. YouTube's been unsubscribing users from channels lately, so if you're a fan of us, please do us a favor and double check to see if you're still subscribed. It only takes a second and it helps us a ton here at Amagi. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video.
So, how do we do this? How do we give Sasuke a tailed beast? Well, there is one obvious way. Konoha, at one point in time, was in control of another tailed beast, the Three Tails, Isobu. It was Madara's plan to use it to awaken Obito to hatred by destroying his love. He noted Obito to be a kind and loving soul who went out of his way to help someone, and then destroying the thing he loved most, he knew he could turn that love into pure hate. And so he decided he would put a tailed beast into Rin in hopes that she would kill herself in front of Obito. To this end, he manipulated the shinobi of Kirigakure into putting their tailed beast into her before using a 6-path seal similar to the one that he put on Obito later. As predicted, Rin jumped into Kakashi's Chidori, impaling herself and dying. You gotta love her dedication to the village. She may be a chronic damsel in distress, Princess Peach style, but at least if she thinks she's endangering the village, she'll effortlessly choose to off herself for the greater good. However, this is one point I wish to change to turn our story into the what if I had planned. For the time being, we'll assume that Rin has no idea that the beast is sealed inside of her. To the best of her knowledge, she was merely rescued by Kakashi. She'd be returned to Konoha with Kakashi, and immediately the seal breaks and the Three Tails comes out. She dies tragically, and the Three Tails begins to rampage. Now, of course, Obito would still turn to the dark side here, as he would come to learn Rin was dead, but he wouldn't have been allowed to go after them, and instead would be allowed to view it remotely. The Three Tails in a craze is destroying Konoha, but due to the efforts of the 3rd Hokage and some of the other greatest members of Konoha, they're able to pacify the beast until such a time comes that they can find a suitable host. Eventually they do, but this character will serve very little purpose in our story besides being the vessel to store the tailed beast in until such a time that Sasuke can have it implanted into him. So we'll skip forward. Nothing overly big has occurred here that changes too much, and so we reach that infamous day on October 10th, where we find Obito breaking into the village to set free the tailed beast from Kushina. But while this is happening, Zetsu has located the Jinchuriki of Isobu and is working to remove it from their body. Obito manages to free Kurama, who in a rage begins to destroy a large majority of the village. At around the same time, give or take a few minutes, Isobu suddenly appears and has a genjutsu cast over it by Obito. The two beasts begin to destroy the village. While 4th Hokage Minato is fighting Kurama in the distance, Fugaku aids the Uchiha in defending the border. Mikoto rushes home to her children to take care of them. Upon reaching their home though, they find Isobu making his way towards it, beginning to make his way into the compound. Left alone with Sasuke and Itachi, Mikoto fights the beast. Itachi, despite his great talents, would be knocked away and left unconscious. Mikoto can't even be sure that he's still alive. Itachi is, of course, but she doesn't know that. To defend Sasuke from the beast, she begins to prepare a seal, hoping to take the beast into herself. But upon taking a mortal wound that she knows is the end for her, she would decide that the best place to put Isobu would be into Sasuke. She begins to use the seal and manages to pull Isobu into Sasuke's body just as she had learned from Kushina, sealing it in. She then perishes. Sasuke is left alone until Itachi wakes up and takes his baby brother into his arms, the child's body now covered in a swirling seal, the stamp of the Uzumaki clan's greatest seal. Eventually, in the distance, Minato manages to seal away Kurama into Naruto, but the cost is Kushina's and his own life, leaving the boy orphaned. The dust settles and things continue on as normal. Fugaku has lost his wife and now his clan is being blamed for the Nine-Tails attack, and his patience is wearing so thin that it's not even funny. Contentions over whether or not they should allow Fugaku's son to even keep the Three-Tails comes up. The thought that the village would kill his youngest son over this infuriates Fugaku. This would lead to talk of a coup, which results in Itachi killing his clan and his father, leaving Sasuke to question everything. He would force Sasuke to hate him, telling him he wasn't even worthy of death at this point. Sasuke, in a rage, would attack his brother, but not with Sharingan. Instead, he uses an initial version 1 cloak, which actually catches Itachi by surprise to the point that he needs to cast Tsukiyomi to defend himself. He would force Sasuke to relive the events that had happened leading up to this point over and over again as Itachi leaves. His little brother under a genjutsu, Itachi holds him gently, knowing that Sasuke can neither see nor hear what is going on. And that is for the best. The guilt has welled up in Itachi and he can no longer hold it in. Tears stream down his face as he holds his unconscious little brother. He touches his forehead to Sasuke's and utters an apology, begging Sasuke to forgive him for what he's doing. He would kiss Sasuke's cheek and embrace him one last time before laying him down by the side of the road. Itachi would then turn and leave the village. Time passes and Sasuke is never the same. Beyond what he experienced, he lives alone in the village, only taken care of by the Hokage's office. In the streets, Sasuke is hated and reviled. Not a single person wishes to befriend him, and the adults insult and push him away. This leads to him getting a violent reputation, as he's begun to learn how to use his tailed beast's chakra. While Naruto vandalizes locations for attention, Sasuke is over there beating people to within an inch of their lives with the rather docile Isobu's chakra. In the academy, everyone avoids Sasuke as his dark and angry personality gives off murderous intent as opposed to the mysterious intrigue that garnered him so much affection in the original timeline. This leads to Sasuke ending up befriending Naruto, who can tell that he's like he is. Naruto can also tell there's something different about Sasuke. The two begin a rivalry, but the bond becomes more akin to brotherhood the more they hang out together. Both lost their families, both were hated by the village, and both possessed a strange energy about them that gave them the potential to be more than they were. Whenever Sasuke is bullied, Naruto steps in to defend him, and whenever Naruto is bullied, Sasuke does the same. Sasuke and Naruto begin doing a lot together, including training, to which Sasuke helps Naruto realize his initial Jinchuriki cloak at an early point, and begins to help him with his jutsu and other academy issues, which results in Naruto passing after his first try. Naruto and Sasuke both end up on the same team together along with Sakura, who seems rather nervous about being on the same team as the so-called Demon Brothers. When they do the bell test, Sasuke and Naruto's teamwork is impeccable, with their initial Jinchuriki cloaks and Sasuke's pure talent being enough to push Kakashi to the ropes. Kakashi would have to work very hard to stay ahead of them. In the end, due to the fact that Naruto and Sasuke work very well together, they would pass the test. The Land of Waves mission would come along, and as they're escorting Tazuna to the titular location, out of the blue they're attacked by the Demon Brothers. Due to his training with Sasuke, Naruto's instincts kick in and he enters his initial Jinchuriki form and is able to avoid the attack. The two Demon Brothers, by which this time I mean Naruto and Sasuke, would begin to press the attack. The other Demon Brothers, with the chained gauntlets, attempt to strike them down with a coordinated assault, but Naruto and Sasuke manage to outwit them with their own attacks and bring the two down. They'd continue on until they're stopped by Zabuza. Before I continue, I need to note that Zabuza actually does not have the Executioner's Blade. The reason will be revealed later. Now, of course, not much changes here as Sasuke and Naruto are stronger, and Sasuke never used the Sharingan in the main timeline version of events anyways. Their training comes along and Naruto and Sasuke still have one heck of a time climbing the tree, perhaps even more so than normal due to their general favoritism towards their tailed beast energy, which they would just burst out with as opposed to controlling, something that Kakashi tells him to work on. And of course, Sasuke learns it first. No surprises there, Sasuke is gifted. Naruto, through hard work, manages to catch up. On the bridge, they have to face off against Haku and Zabuza, the latter of whom faces Kakashi, and the former delegating his attacks towards Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto and Sasuke are quick to use their initial Jinchuriki forms to fight, but this time they begin to remember the importance of chakra control as Kakashi has taught them, and they begin to attempt to control the escaping chakra. This allows them to begin utilizing the chakra in a way that min-maxes their effort to reward ratio. In other words, they're getting more bang for their buck. Together, they prove their speed and power to be too much for even Haku to handle this time, and so he ends up defeated, though he does not die. Zabuza, on the other hand, does. Then, when Gato and his men appear to destroy the bridge, Naruto and Sasuke are ready to fight, but Kakashi doesn't want this getting bloody. Despite their power, he knows that they could easily get hurt, or worse, facing a mob by themselves. After a quick heart-to-heart with Haku about what he really wants in life and whether he's willing to fight for it, Haku would have a change of heart and would help Naruto and Sasuke fight back. They manage to drive off Gato and his goons. They ask Haku if he'd like to come back to Konoha with them, but he refuses. Having thought about what they said to him, he decides that he would rather stay in the Land of Waves and protect people there from Gato and his crime family. This pleases Naruto and Team 7 as Tazuna decides to offer Haku a place to stay as thanks for his protection. Team 7 returns to Konoha as the Chunin exams are being planned for. It's here that Naruto and Sasuke meet these Sand siblings who are picking on Konohamaru, Udon, and Moegi. Naruto stands up for them, and Sasuke arrives soon after to back Naruto up. After Gaara threatens Kankuro and Temari to leave the group alone, they leave, with Sasuke and Naruto both noting that something about Gaara feels very familiar, and they begin to wonder if Gaara might also be a Jinchuriki. Having been allowed by Kakashi to take the test, Team 7 quickly signs up. The first part of the Chunin exam is a written test. Now, normally Sasuke breezes through this with his Sharingan, but he doesn't have that right now, so he struggles about as much as Naruto. He begins taking shots in the dark, attempting to find ways to cheat without being found. Noticing his struggling, Sakura offers him her complete paper under hidden means. Sasuke would look it over and realize that Sakura either must be that smart or merely found some way to cheat. He trades to her his unfinished paper, which she answers the same way. Sasuke watches Naruto and realizes that Hinata is offering to do the same for him. Sasuke is certain that they have it in the bag, since Hinata possesses the Byakugan, which would make it easy for her to cheat. To his horror, though, he sees Naruto deny her paper. He begins to hope that Naruto has some sort of plan. Time finishes and it's pencils down. Proctor Marino then informs them that there is one more question to answer on the test, and if they fail, they'll never become Chunin. Sasuke begins to panic a little, but when Naruto decides to take it, he believes that there is no other recourse and decides to do so as well. Turns out that accepting the test was plenty enough for allow them to pass. The second test comes along and it's time for the Forest of Death. Team 7 are given a Heaven Scroll and are instructed not to open it until they get to the building in the center. Before they get there though, they must take the Earth Scroll away from one of the teams. Now, normally, it's here that Team 7 would be attacked by Orochimaru and Team Dosu. However, such a thing would not happen. When Sasuke is still an Uchiha, he possesses no Sharingan and therefore no Kekkei Genkai. This means that Orochimaru has practically zero interest in Sasuke whatsoever. Orochimaru would not attack them and the test goes about the same as it would without those complications. Team 7 finished their mission in near record time, coming right behind these Sand siblings in that way. Due to not having run into Orochimaru, Sasuke does not possess the Seal of Heaven, and therefore, when he battles in the first round of the exhibition matches, he doesn't need to handicap himself to win. He would just stomp Yoroi, and Naruto would stomp Kiba. The rest of the matches do go about the same. Due to never having run across a curse-marked Sasuke, Zaku's arms don't end up wounded. However, that doesn't stop Shino from clogging the shafts in his arms, and in the end, it results in Zaku's brutal defeat. Poor Sakura still double KOs with Ino, but what can I say? You go, Sakura-chan. Despite being a failure, we love you anyway. After this, we begin our month off to train, and Naruto would end up training with Jiraiya due to having a tailed beast. But guess who joins with him? Sasuke! Sasuke also has a tailed beast, so if Jiraiya is teaching Naruto how to make better use of it, he'll be teaching Sasuke the same. Now, what happens here is that Sasuke utterly outpaces Naruto, leading Jiraiya to believe that Sasuke might be the child of prophecy. Naruto is still having trouble even talking with Kurama, let alone using his energy. Sasuke, on the other hand, is flowing with Isobu in almost perfect fashion. Sasuke would be the first to summon Gamabunta, and while he doesn't defeat the Toad, he manages to earn his respect with his skills and speed. This goes even further as Jiraiya decides to teach Sasuke and Naruto the Rasengan with the time they have left. Sasuke once again picks it up quickly, and he should. The Chidori is pretty hard to use as well, considering that it's a failed attempt to add lightning chakra to shape manipulation. Sasuke should be able to manage this one just as well. The month ends and they must return to Konoha for the rest of the Chunin exams, to which Naruto is the first of the two to fight. He manages to defeat Neji through the power of all that extra chakra Kurama gives him. Sasuke fights against Gaara as well, but where he doesn't have Chidori anymore to pierce through his defense, he does have the Rasengan. The Rasengan would be stopped by the sand as it struck, but the energy of the orb would pass through and harm Gaara anyway, wounding him through internal damage. It's at this time that as Gaara flees, the Hokage's box is bombed, and Orochimaru begins his assault on Hiruzen's life. Sasuke follows after Gaara, but unlike before, he doesn't need Naruto's help to defeat him. Sasuke already has all the firepower he's going to need. He spanks Gaara, and when Gaara tries to use Shukaku as he tried before, Sasuke would pull out Isobu and spike Gaara like a football. Naruto barely even has the time to wake up from the Genjutsu before it's all over, but of course the Hokage is dead, and that leaves Jiraiya in charge of finding Tsunade. Now, Naruto may go with Jiraiya, but Sasuke wouldn't. Naruto needs to train to catch up with Sasuke, but Sasuke's already fine, so he stays in Konoha. But while Naruto's out, Itachi and his partner Juzo Biwa show up, with their target being the Three Tails. This means Sasuke. Itachi, deep in his heart, hopes that Sasuke has mastered his powers enough to beat them off. Now, the current reason why Juzo Biwa is here instead of Kisame is due to the fact that Sasuke currently has Isobu. You see, originally Juzo was killed by Yagura, who was the current owner of Isobu. They had tracked him down to take him, but they failed and Yagura got away after killing Juzo with his own blade. Now this actually makes me rethink the entire Land of Waves arc. I originally mentioned during the arc that Zabuza would not be wielding the Executioner's blade, and the reason for that was that Juzo would still be alive, but as I look back on it now, the lack of a blade might be the least of the changes that would happen here. After all, Yagura, the Jinchuriki of the Three Tails, was an important figure in everyone's lives in Kirigakure. You see, Tobi was the one who influenced him and began the brutal traditions that gave Kirigake the nickname the Blood Mist Village. It was those traditions that led to Zabuza betraying Kiri and attempting to overthrow the government, stealing the Executioner's blade that had been taken from the body of Juzo Biwa and fleeing after the attempt on Yagura's life failed. Given that Yagura doesn't have a tailed beast, quite a bit changes. First off, Obito may have less incentive to manipulate him at all, given that the tailed beast is not within him. Beyond that, without the manipulation, there is no Blood Mist Village rituals that turn Zabuza off from the whole Kiri government. But let's stop for a moment and assume that Obito still manipulated him and caused the bloody rituals to begin anyway. Yagura would be far weaker without his tailed beast, meaning that if Zabuza for some reason did want to kill him, there is a good chance he could have done so, meaning there'd be no Zabuza in the Land of Waves mission. This goes down a sad road by stating that if Zabuza didn't end up a nomad, he would have never found the orphaned Haku, who, after displaying a Kekai Genkai, would be abused by his village, starved and chained up in the cold, with nothing but a rough shirt and a forced smile to keep him warm. If Zabuza had not found him that day, there is a good chance that Haku would have died, which is super sad. Truth be known, any of these things could have happened. Anyways, let's get back to the story. So Itachi and Juzo appear in Konoha where they're engaged by Kakashi, but manage to beat him. They would search out Sasuke and find him. Itachi would play the role of bad guy once again to infuriate Sasuke and bring out his latent potential through anger. Sasuke would activate his completed version 1 cloak that he would have learned during his time under Jiraiya. However, despite everything that Sasuke does, he cannot beat them. Even if Itachi does nothing, Juzo manages to take Sasuke alive, knocking him unconscious. Itachi can't do anything but comply when Juzo bids him to follow him out of the village. They would go to another location far away from the village and wait while they plan to strip Sasuke of his tailed beast. Juzo prepares for it. However, Itachi attempts to do his best to stall for time, but when it becomes overly obvious that it was a bad idea to send Itachi to deal with his own brother, despite having murdered his entire clan, Juzo tells Itachi to wait outside. Itachi knows he can't wait any longer, so the two of them fight. Juzo states that it's a shame that they must cross blades, telling Itachi that he liked him. He tells Itachi that if he puts his sword down now, they can just forget this ever happened and present the tailed beast to Pain and receive their reward. Itachi refuses, saying that he killed his own clan to protect Sasuke and that he would not let it go to waste. From there, Itachi and Juzo fight. Itachi must make distance between the two of them. Itachi was sick, and in his weakened state, he could not deal with a Kage-level opponent in any physical means, especially not one accustomed to wielding the massive blade, Kubikiri Bocho. This meant that Itachi needed to stay at a distance. However, Itachi's skills with ninjutsu and genjutsu were peerless. He would activate Amaterasu and fuse it with his great fireball jutsu. He would push his fire through, igniting Juzo with the everlasting black flames. Juzo would perish, burning to nothing. Itachi would pick up the executioner's blade and place it at the place of his burn mark to signify his respect for this man. It would have been Itachi's hopes to have just left, but as he looked over, he would see Sasuke staring back at him with confusion. Not hatred, just confusion. Why would Itachi save him? Was this because of their promised fight? Sasuke couldn't beat him now, not even with his tailed beast. How could he ever hope to match him from what he had just watched? Itachi would sigh and approach him. Sasuke would take a step back, and Itachi would stop a distance away. "I bet you have questions." Sasuke would nod, and Itachi would begin by explaining everything. Itachi never hated Sasuke, never hated the Uchiha, he just wanted to protect them. He began to explain why the Uchiha were killed and why they had to die, but Sasuke wasn't having any of that. He was angered by this, believing that even if there was a planned coup, the Uchiha would have lost, but at very least the clan wouldn't be gone, and Itachi wouldn't have been forced to kill anyone. Itachi did not want to turn Sasuke's wrath against Konoha, he wanted to end it. Itachi would tell Sasuke that he only did what he had to do, and despite the decisions on the parts of the Konoha military, they only wanted what was right for the village. He hoped to express this, and so as a gift to Sasuke, he showed him something special. A crow. He said that he planned to give it to him as a gift, but that this gift was not just of a crow, but of a bright future. Sasuke would catch a glimpse of what appeared to be a Sharingan in the crow's eye. The Sharingan would change its appearance for a moment, and then suddenly it all became so clear to Sasuke. Everything Itachi believed, what he felt, why he felt it, it all became clear. With that one genjutsu, Itachi helped Sasuke switch his hatred to love and loyalty. He would have to remove the crow's Sharingan, but as promised, he would bestow it onto Sasuke before destroying Shisui's Mangekyo to keep it from falling into the wrong hands. He would get up to leave, and Sasuke would ask where he's going. Itachi would merely state that he was going to go back to the Akatsuki. He would tell Sasuke that he had a mission there to complete, but that he promised to send him letters. Itachi would smile to his little brother before turning to crows and vanishing. Sasuke would be left there confused, but there was one thing he knew. If Itachi was willing to sacrifice everything for him and the village, then he would work hard to become worthy of that, and help carry the burden that his brother carried. He would then return to the village with the crow to meet an astounded Kakashi and Might Guy. Sasuke would explain to him the importance of this secret and what it meant, and so they began receiving messages from Itachi frequently. Naruto would return with Jiraiya and Tsunade, and both Naruto and Sasuke would go off to train with Jiraiya. And during this time, though Naruto tried and failed at it miserably, Sasuke was capable of not only mastering version 2, but completely befriending the kind and somewhat timid Isobu. Through this, Sasuke's power grew and began to overshadow Naruto's to a degree. Naruto could not befriend Kurama, and Isobu stated to Sasuke that it was because the Ninetales was both the strongest and most stubborn-tailed beast. Sasuke and Naruto would eventually return to Konoha after a time and reunite with their team. It didn't take long for a crow to reach Sasuke with a letter telling them more information about the Akatsuki's movements, stating that they were planning to take Gaara's one tail. He also mentioned to Sasuke that something had come up and that he was ordered to come home, and so Sasuke awaited his brother's return and followed up on the information alongside Team 7 and Team 3. Together, they reach Tsunagakure along with a message for the new Kazekage, Gaara, about imminent danger. Kankuro doesn't take it seriously, but Temari and Gaara do, and they make them guests in his home under the guise of diplomatic envoys. Naruto and Sasuke are pleased to find that Gaara has mellowed out over the time since they were gone, and Sakura states that he really has, having been present for the Suna-led Chunin exams earlier on in which she participated. For a while, Team 7 seems to just be having fun, Sakura noting that Sasuke himself has mellowed out, going from that edgy, violent preteen to a smiling and happy-go-lucky near adult. Naruto mentions that it must have to do with him patching things up with Itachi, something that surprises Sakura and startles Sasuke, who tells Naruto to be quiet as he shouldn't be talking about it in the open. Naruto covers his mouth and apologizes. Sasuke would sigh and wave it off, stating that Itachi was coming home anyway, and that he couldn't wait to get the mission over with so he could go home and spend time with him. They would wait for a while, staking out Suna and intentionally using Gaara as bait per his request, leaving him in open routes and giving plenty of planned windows waiting for their opponents. Not too long thereafter, a smoke bomb would go off as two shadows jump in to take Gaara and jump out. Team 7 pour on the gas to locate them and follow them back to their hideout along with a squad led by Kankuro. Together they would face off against Deidara and Sasori, with Sakura letting loose Gaara as Naruto and Sasuke enter their forms. In one swift blow, they manage to eradicate the two Akatsuki members and save Gaara, who thanks them and promises to keep his eyes open. Team 7 returns to Konoha, where Sasuke is bid to enter the Hokage's office. He steps in and would see Itachi sitting in a chair by Tsunade, Jiraiya, and various other shinobi. Sasuke would maintain his composure, but Itachi would not, getting up and walking over just to give his little brother a hug. Itachi would tell them that the leader of the Akatsuki, a man who goes by the name Pain, is gathering all of the tailed beasts to fuel some super weapon that he plans to use to teach the world what pain is, and ruin their taste for war. He further states that he's holed up in Amagi, where he had overthrown Hanzo of the Salamander and taken his spot as leader. This startles both Jiraiya and Tsunade, who had met and been defeated by Hanzo in earlier years. They begin to formulate a plan, knowing that soon the Akatsuki would come for all the tailed beasts. They manage to get into contact with Gaara and tell him, and he agrees to aid them in whatever they have planned. Gathering forces together, Jiraiya would send both Sasuke and Naruto to Mount Myoboku to train under the Toad Sages and learn Sage Mode. Once more, Sasuke surpasses Naruto, but strangely enough, only by a little. Naruto masters it himself after not much more than an hour after Sasuke, and he does master it to the same degree. The Toad Sages begin to disagree on which of the children would be the child of prophecy, and it's postulated that together, Naruto and Sasuke make up a single child, that child being the one who originally brought the tailed beasts together. They return to Konoha, where they join forces with Suna and Konoha Nin and launch an assault on Amagakure. They'd rush in to face Pain and the Akatsuki, hoping to destroy them before they cause any more issues with the world. Pain and his 6 paths would face off against Naruto and Sasuke, who both display their Sage Mode. However, unlike Naruto, Sasuke is capable of utilizing it with his version 2 Chakra Cloak, which grants him an incredible boost in power, enough for him to ragdoll Pain and his 6 paths. However, this pushes Nagato too far, who then summons the Ghetto statue and begins to use it to decimate the village. Sasuke plans to face it, but is stopped by Konan, who is planning to protect Nagato with everything she has. Naruto would instead attempt to fight Konan to give Sasuke a chance. Sasuke would utilize Isobu to fight against Pain and the Ghetto statue, but the strange wooden statue's strength is easily tailed beast level. But what is worse still, its mouth launches chakra chains, which capture Isobu and begin to pull it into the creature. Sasuke is removed from Isobu, where he slowly succumbs to the loss of chakra and dies. However, after realizing that one of their greatest chances to beat Pain has died, Chiyo rushes over to perform the one's own life reincarnation technique. She knows it will end with her death, but it's a price she is willing to pay to bring down Pain and save the world. At the same time, Naruto is fighting against Konan, but is mortally wounded by her paper bombs. However, Kakashi manages to stop her from killing him through use of his tomoe technique. Sakura then proceeds to use medical ninjutsu on Naruto to save his life. And in that split second, the chakra that Sasuke and Naruto shared with each other on Mount Myoboku during their training to learn Sage Mode mixes together, and they awaken, having formed 6 Paths chakra. They team up and go after Nagato, and over the course of the battle, they manage to kill him and seize the Ghetto statue and the tailed beasts, as well as Nagato's body, which Konoha plans to take into custody because it has a Rinnegan. As time passes, they return to Konoha, where they interrogate Konan, who reveals the truth of their dead dream to them, including the part where Madara is still alive, which Tsunade can't believe, but Itachi can confirm through his help in killing the Uchiha. She states that it was Madara who proposed the plan to Nagato, and that he would be the one to continue it if it were to continue. And so from that point on, they begin to set a trap, making it seem like they don't know, and leaving it open to him to appear and take the Rinnegan. However, when he does appear, Team 7 spring the trap. No matter what they try though, none of their attacks hit. That is until Kakashi makes a connection, believing that Madara may be using Kamui. With that discovered, Naruto and Sasuke smash his mask and reveal Madara to be none other than Obito Uchiha. After defeating him with Kakashi's help, Naruto manages to speak with Obito and convince him of the errors of his ways, telling him that he can still have a normal life. Eventually, Obito's mind is changed after a rousing bout of talk no jutsu, and Obito informs them of the real Madara's plans, and how he hoped to cast the infinite Tsukiyomi upon the world. To that end, Obito convinces Team 7 to destroy the Rinnegan, as it's the key to using the Ten Tails and casting the infinite Tsukiyomi. From here, the threat of the Ten Tails is eradicated, and while Zetsu is still alive, that might not always be, as they will now be searching for him. Not to mention that there are no more Rinnegan with which to allow him to utilize the Ten Tails, meaning that Kaguya isn't reviving anytime soon. So what does the future hold for our heroes? Well, Itachi sadly perishes from his sickness, revealing that the end stages of his terminal illness made it impossible to continue working in the Akatsuki, and that he wanted to be home with his brother when he died. Sasuke takes this loss hard, but when his heart is shattered, Sakura helps him put it back together, and the two begin a budding romance which ends with their marriage. Naruto would also end up married to Hinata. Together, Naruto and Sasuke protect Konoha from as many threats as would come. Tsunade remains Hokage for many years and is a key member in helping them defeat Momoshiki and Jinchuriki. She then passes on the Hokage role, ready to retire. She at first offers it to Sasuke, but Sasuke refuses, knowing that this was Naruto's dream, and thus allows him to take it. Ishiki eventually comes, but with the combined might of Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, and Obito, they manage to defeat him. And that is how I see it happening. Honestly, I was pleased with this scenario, and it seemed to flow very well. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up to tell us so, and if you have any more ideas about videos that you'd like to see made, let us know in the comments below.
Did you enjoy our video? Well, then be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.